G'day everybody, it's Max, and welcome back to Satisfactory Update 4, that's right. And man, our next 3 videos are going to be pretty intense. In fact, everything we build now is going to be pretty big and take multiple videos. And that's just because of the size and scope of what we're building at now. But the next 3 videos are going to be pretty intense because now it's time for the plastic and rubber builds. Of course, it takes, one video will be us doing the pipe networking for the for those factories, and then another video will be the belt networking and then the firing up of that. And this video is going to be us just going over the initial layout and juicing up the power needed to run those factories. So let's get into it, and let's make things happen. It has taken so long, so many drives, so many, but we finally have the computers. Yes, holy smokes, you think I was pulling snails out here. It's just criminal. It really is just criminal. And this isn't even what we're doing today. Today, we're doing Rubber and Plastic Day. That's right. We've got big builds going on for the next couple of videos. And but we're going to go do this first. We're going to claim that. I don't care about the rest of the drives. We'll just put them away for now. Holy smokes. Yep. Let's get the car. I'm so excited. Holy smokes. It has taken forever and ever. Oh my goodness. Look, I didn't even wait for the daytime. Like, it's about to turn night, and of course, doesn't matter. We're turning these on. We are turning these suckers on so we can get computers rolling. Oh yeah, betcha. Boom. I don't even think I have outputs ready for these yet. I don't have a box. I have nothing. Ready. Okay, but that's fine. You know what? That's just fine. That is perfectly fine. We can have stuff ready, though. You betcha. We will definitely have something ready here in just a second. Let's do a merger. Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's because I'm working on stuffing the things for you guys, right? I hate this thing. Right. Okay, there we go. 6. Merger. That is the weirdest looking set of arrows I've ever seen. Okay. We can make this work. We're going to make this work. Okay, cool. Conveyor lift 3, don't need. There we go. We'll take that. Yep. I know I got Mark 4 belt going into Mark 3 belt, but that doesn't matter because it's all little stuff anyway. There we go. And I'm not, of course, we're not going to feed these back to the base. The supply base is just that. It is your supply base, and you know it already has all the supplies that. Did I short myself there? I think I shorted myself there. I did too. I did short myself. Just a second. So your supply base should never actually, start holding. I mean, yes, you can have it hold all the things, and if you want to drag the computers back to your supply base to be put into containers, that handle all your material needs, then and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, look at that. Yes. That being said, I usually don't. Again, I believe a person needs to tour their factory. And to do that, it means that sometimes you have to have a reason to go out and tour it, right? And if everything's just coming back to a centralized area all the time, well, then what's the point of me going out to have a look at stuff? I like to go out. I like to come out, and I like to see the stuff being working and making and the thinking and being made all the time. I mean, that's really cool stuff, right? And I like seeing the cool stuff being made, because that's just really cool. All right, now these will be really cool because we're putting these power poles way at the very top. Yeah. All right, this should be really exciting. Yes. Run, my pretties, run. Run, run. Yes. Come alive. Whoa, 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 whoa. I got myself all twisted around there. You come into this one, and you go to that one. Oh, yeah. Look at this. You are making computers for me. Alternate recipe computers. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, this is already almost 5 minutes long, and we got a huge build to go. So I'm going to cut it off here. We now have computers. Yes. Nice to see parts of the factory coming alive again now that we can actually have that. And we're going to be back, and we're going to get in to building some big rubber plastic builds. I'll see you in a second. You know, it's a great day when you finally have the formulas you need to do the stuff you want to get done. And that includes having our new computer formula. And we need to actually make a quick stop over there to drop off a few supplies, and then we're going to talk about what we're doing. So let's hop on over there, and let's fill up the tanks with a little bit of extras so they can keep making them computers. And then, of course, we'll drive down to the other end where we're going to be making all the plastic and the rubber and the things. So, of course, when we made this build, we temporarily stuck in a solution for this where, you know, I come up here and I drop off a little plastic, which, of course, is being used to make these circuit boards. And then, of course, at the same time for the computers, we drive over here and we drop off a little bit of rubber. And then, of course, it has rubber to then make the computers with. And so I'll just run right over here, drop that off. Hey, there we go. And of course, they just love that. And it's like, yep, just give me that, and I'll make your computers. There you go. And now we of course we can only do that for so long, right? And now we're getting into the parts of the game now where the big stuff is coming in, right? So we need a permanent solution for plastic, permanent solution for rubber, and then of course we're going to be switching to aluminum, and then all the toys that requires. So to do that, of course, I need a path and a way through here. Yep, there we go. I'll take this, and we'll take a right and a left. There we go. And so now it's time to get serious about the plastic and the rubber. That's right. As for the last couple of videos, of course, screenshots will probably shown this factory, which is now duplicated on this side. And this is what videos 2 and 3 are all about in the next couple of videos coming up. This, of course, is what is required to make the plastic and the rubber. Now, I should note here, this is overkill. This is way overkill. For 5 turbo motors a minute and 5 supercomputers a minute, these two factories, so this one here on the left I think is going to do the rubber, this one here on the right will do the plastic, and these are both overkill, okay? I mean, we only need about, I think it's 350 rubber and plastic each, and these are going to do 1,000. All right, both of these factories will do about 1,000 rubber and 1,000 plastic a minute. Now, when you're doing 50 turbo motors, you need about 6 of these factories each to make this happen. Which is why in my 2,000 plus hour save, I've got these plastered all over the place. But for our needs for the 5, this is going to be overkill. But next video is just going to be on all the piping for this, and we're actually going to come back up here before the end of this video to actually go over the actual pieces themselves, so as we can understand that part, and then get right into the whole piping of it on the next video and all that. But we do have one other thing that we got to take care of, and that is power. As you can imagine, 2 of those factories, each of them I think takes about 2,000 megawatts Well, we don't do that. Right? We're only making 3,300, and right now it says, whoa, what like it's this crazy number, right? So we have really got to bop up the game, right? So without nuclear, that does mean we have to have a considerable amount more power. Now, part of this build in both the plastic and rubber, one of the biggest magical tricks with it is the magical conversion of water to gas. I mean, that's basically what you're doing. You're taking a little bit of gas and a whole lot of water, and we're turning it into a whole lot of gas, right? And that's what we want. We want fuel. We want lots of fuel. Well, we don't need to just use it up here for the plastic and rubber build. We can use a portion of this same build for our fuel generators. So one 300 pipe is going to produce 1,000 rubber, and another 300 pipe is going to produce 1,000 plastic. Well, why not we use that kind of power to produce a lot of power, right? So up to this point, we've been kind of running on my cheesy build. But no more. No. We are now going to be upgraded to all the power. Okay, yeah, that's it. In fact, there is still, I have read so many posts in the last day or so about, there's like this debate as to what the actual number of power you can actually run. Some say it's 15, some say it's 18, one post says it's 25. You know what? Doesn't matter to me. It will run a lot, and that's what we need, right? So let's get down there and have a look at the new power output and turn it all on so as we can crank it all up. So what we have done is basically taken a piece of those factories, the fuel portion of those factories, ripped it out, and put it down here to now produce all the fuel that we need and make that all happen. Now, with that, let's now go over what it is that we got going on. So here on the right is the initial. This is still running, by the way. We couldn't turn this off or get rid of it because we would be too short on power. So we have our, really it's only 10 factories. These two on the left have never been turned on. We've got our 10 refineries here, and they are doing fuel. Just your standard, take oil, make fuel, get rid of resin, dump it out, right? And those, of course, those 10 are filling one pipe of 300, which are running these factories here, right? These particular generators. And that's cool, that's cool, that's fine, right? But we would like it if just 10 of these, right, which would do one pipe of 300, could run way more than that, and they will. We have all kinds of generators ready to go. So that is what you're seeing here on the left. On the left, and this is this is the water that you need just to make this all work. Here on the left is the build. You know what? Let's use this ladder over here. So what you have here on the right, of course, is the old build. 10 refineries running basically our 10 generators. But now here on the right, here on the left, is now the new build where we've ripped out the fuel piece of that factory up there, put it down here, so it's going to be 10 refineries, not making fuel, but making heavy oil residue. And then we're going to take that residue and water and triple it into fuel to triple the lines out to run all kinds of generators. There's 10 here, plus there's another 20 down the back, and that's not even close to what this thing will run. That's just for warm up. I know, it's crazy. To do that, first you need a lot of water. You need a lot of water, and so you need 3 lines of water to do that, and of course that's where 3 of these lines are. 3 of these lines are going to be for this side when I convert it over to another one of these should we need it. I just ran the lines now so as we could actually have the lines ready, and that's why they kind of dead end there. It's like they are ready to go as soon as they're required. But our original 10 refineries that were making fuel are now making the alternate recipe of heavy oil residue. The polymer, again, we're just dumping that. Now, up in the rubber build and the plastic build, we use that polymer resin. But down here for the fuel, we just want to get rid of this. So we're just dumping that into a sink, right? Now, the heavy oil, the 400 of it being done, is now slammed into these refineries. And along with these 14 water pumps, are now going to create 14 refineries of packaged fuel, and that is then turned back into piped fuel by using these pumps on the other side, and then of course that allows us to get way more out of it. So we got to fire this all up. We got to turn this all on. We got to see it all working, you know, because I mean it's intense times, right? We should get a definite power boost out of this, and then I can shut this one down here on the right off and clean it up to match this one on the left. All right, so we actually want to whip around to the other side. Whip, and let's go, little tractor. Zip. Yes, look at all the piping. This is how much piping you need to get this much fuel out of this stuff. I mean, this thing's going to generate a lot of gas. That's what we want. We want little input and a lot of output. It's definitely what we want. Like that. We want a power line. I definitely want to power you. And you're going to now take in these empty canisters and start pumping water in there. That's right, you do that. We also want you to power this. Now, you're not spitting anything out yet, but well, good job. You got your water all set to go. But now, it's time to turn the big one on, and let's see what happens, right? So these are already powered, but they have no oil coming in because there's the pump right there. I have not powered it up yet. So these are all powered up. They're just waiting, ready to go. All right, and we'll come over here, grab that power line, and boom. Off you go, big guy. Yeah, that's right. Let's see the whole expanding things. There we go. Look at that. Oh, I like it when you see the little expansion things. They're all expanding. There they go. Look at that. Nice. Okay, so what is going on? Well, this is being converted into heavy oil residue. 2 lines of it, right? Your first 5 on the front will do 1 pipe of 200. The 5 in the back do the second pipe of 200. And those 2 pipes then come over here into these refineries. At the same time, these 14 pumps of water are just packaging water. And that packaged water plus this piping is coming in here and is now actually, hopefully, going to come in here shortly. It better, gosh darn. Do we see any expansion happening here at all? Let's go. Now, yes, as far as I understood, these should be able to pump up this high. It shouldn't be a big deal. Yeah, you're being a little slow at it, but as far as I know, you can get it up here. There we go. There it comes. Let's just double check these ones. We might as well make sure. Nothing here yet. Okay, it's slowly arriving. There we go. And yeah, this polymer is just going bye-bye. Now, actually, I'm saving half of it. And that's because later you can make gas masks out of polymer instead of mycelia, which is awesome. So definitely gets rid of that whole need. No sense running around in caves gathering mycelia when you can just use the polymer resin as for making gas masks. It's actually really nice stuff. We're saving a box of that for later, but the other half of it we're just shoving into a sink. That's what we want. That's it. Pump it up. That's right. Pump away. There we go. Yes. Now, what should be happening is these guys are going to start filling up, which is what we want. There we go. Exactly. You do that. And, of course, they will fill up the first 7 machines. Then, down here, this other line of 200 is going to come in. Now, it will come in and keep going down because we put this little valve here. The only way this used to work is that you used to have to put a pump in here. You would put a pump in here with a direction going that way. That would force this second line to come in here and then go that way. But with valves, this is perfectly fine, right? With a valve, it's just going to force whatever's left over in this pipe to go this way. And then, of course, there should be very little left in the pipe. These 7 machines should use almost all of it. That being said, if they're not, if there is a little bit left over, then these machines then pick up the slack and they take it away. Zip, zip, off it goes. And there you go. Now, of course, then this package fuel comes out here, which, of course, these are just warming up, so there's not going to be a whole lot of excitement here yet. They get warmed up, and then they unpackage the fuel back into a pipeline, which, of course, is now going to be sent over to the generators. So this will take a few minutes to actually warm up because, again, you got to wait for all this stuff to kind of fill up. And, between all the pipes filling up, I mean, look, see, it still hasn't even made most of its way down here yet, right? I mean, it's barely getting down here, but it is slowly getting down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you back in about, I'll say about 15 minutes my time. And these should be warmed up really, really decent. Because, again, we're not depending on the part 2 part of the factory to make rubber or plastic. We're just going for the fuel part. And then we'll have a look at just how well they're functioning once they're all up and running. So I will see you in a sec. Oh, yeah. Yep. This is definitely going well. We're going to get the sunrise here shortly. We are definitely cranking out the fuel now. No problem running over 30 generators. In fact, I'm not using enough generators, I would say. Part of the problem seems to be now I'm actually backing up fuel in the fuel lines, and we're not using enough of the fuel out of the fuel lines. Now that's because I only put 10 generators on each line, simply because there were so many different calculations done between 12, 15, 18, and 25. I didn't know which one to believe. So what I did was I took my own number and said, you know what? I'm going to start with 10. I'm going to start with 10, and then we would see how it goes. But as you can see, these lines are stuffed. In fact, they're so stuffed that they're not burning it off enough. Now, that is one thing about Update 4 I do like, is that whole burn as you need it before Update 4 really drove me crazy, because you could never really get a good calculation on just what it was that it needed. But now that these generators are running flat out all the time, at least you can now try to do a calculation. I just haven't had the time to go through the math. So I'd hope that online someone was going to tell me, and it's how about this number? No, how about this one? Or maybe this number. But as you can see, these generators are all running flat out, and this line is full. I could put more generators on each of these lines. Each of these lines are running 10 generators, and they're all running. They are all running and having no problems with it. So that is, we have 3 lines here. Actually, we have 2.8 lines. Whatever 2 of the lines are going to do, I would just make sure I kept 2 or 4 generators off of the 3rd line, because the 3rd line only has 4 and not 5 refineries feeding it. That's just the way the math works. So with that, what I don't know is how much power do we got now? Because I mean, we just fired up 30 generators, so let's have a look at the power pole down here and see what it looks like. I would think that it looks really, really good now. That's for sure. Because I mean, and we need good. We need good because we're about to fire up a lot of stuff, and without nuclear, you got to have power. Boom. That's right. We are cranking up the power. We're using 1200. We are producing 78, and I could add even more easily on there. It says that we could max consume 55. And that's because some of the factory up there, like the supply base, is all kind of turned off at the moment. And that's fine, right? The computers are probably running, and everything around the computers is probably running, which is where the 1200 is coming from. And that's okay. That's, you know what? Them computers can just keep right on making computers, and everything else is probably all filled up, so that's fine. But I will probably now just add more generators as we need them. Of course now I can convert that other side into a mirror of this and put 30 more generators plus out on that for at least another several thousand up to 10,000 watts of power. So we should have more than enough power. Each of these builds up here take about, I'm pretty sure they're between 25 and 3,000 watts. There are 57 refineries on each side, so that's 114, and then there's 28 pumps on each side, so that would be 56. So that's a lot of pieces of equipment running 20, 30 megawatts at a time. I think the refineries, they were 50 at one time, but I think they only use 35 now or 30 now. What do you guys use? Yeah, you use 30 now. So it used to be 50. They used to be like real gas guzzlers, but now of course they're not as bad, but they're still bad enough. That you got to keep an eye on them. I actually whoa! I got to empty this. Got to keep filling up that plastic and rubber until we get these up and running. Okay, let's now have a look at our plastic and rubber builds. Go over the pieces, and then next episode we're actually going to do the piping on the other side, which will match this side, because this side is kind of like I build it on this side to make sure I've got the layout running right, and then we're going to duplicate it on the other side. Now these are the same 10 refineries as we had down below for the power plant. They are going to... What are you doing? No, that's not right. Where are you? No, not you. No, heavy oil residue. Why? What? Did I mark these all wrong? I did too. Oh no, that's not bad. That's not good at all. These are all supposed to be something else. These are all supposed to be heavy oil residue. Copy. I wonder when I did that. We'll fix them while I go around here. So these 10 refineries are just like the ones down below where we want them to do heavy oil residue. And we've got these separated into two groups of 5, of course. I did do this one, right? Yep. We've got them separated into two groups of 5. Each 5 will produce 40 for 200, 2 pipes of 200. And that's groovy doovy. That's exactly what we want. Paste you. I can't believe I put the wrong... I'm glad I checked these out, because, man, that would be really upsetting if these were all wrong. And I started putting fuel into a bunch of junk and then have to empty out a bunch more junk. And, gee whiz, I could imagine the mess on that. All right. Now, in this case, though, we're not going to dump the resin, right? The resin is going to go into these machines, and what it's going to do is it's going to produce a little bit of rubber, a little bit of residual rubber, okay, which we're going to use later to turn into plastic, which then we turn back into rubber. It's a bit of a twisty-turny story, but we'll come back to these. We'll come back to these machines here in a bit. Now, of course, as just like down with the fuel generators, these 10, of course, are taking that heavy oil residue in these 2 pipes, and they're going to move it up here to these 14 machines right here. Ta-da! That's right. And then, of course, these are going to take that heavy oil residue with packaged water and turn it into packaged fuel. And then, of course, we're going to take that packaged fuel and unpackage it into these pipes here. And that's fine. And, of course, the pumps in the back are just pumping water, right? They're just packaging these. These 14 pumps here are just going to take the water and put it in water, and so we can send it across. Now, it's the magical tricks of what goes on after we've got it back into the fuel of the pipes that make it a little magical. So we have 14 refineries here creating magical fuel, right? The first 5 we're going to take and go up to the very end. The second 5, okay, we're going to take some of it and go up to the very end, but we're also going to take some of it and go this way to these 9 machines here. Now, in the olden times, you would have to do this with a little bit of trickery, with again using pumps, right? And of course, you would tell. Basically, what you would do is this would be the incoming, and then 2 of your outgoing would be to the left, and 1 of your outgoing would be to the right, and you would put pumps on all of it, so as 2/3 would go to the left and 1/3 would go to the right. But see, now we've got these valves. So on the valves, I can just say, well, okay, these guys are going to produce 300 fuel. I want 200 of that 300 fuel to go to the left, and I want 100 of that 300 fuel to go to the right. It's perfect. And the stuff that goes to the right basically just joins up with these 4 here. And of course, now they will go into these 9 machines. Now, these 9 machines are plastic machines. But I thought we were making rubber here. Well, we are. Okay, so earlier I pointed out those 6 machines back there that were taking our polymer resin and turning them into a little bit of rubber. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit. And we're taking that little bit of rubber along with the fuel, and we're turning it into a bucket load of plastic. Now what we're doing with the plastic and most of the fuel is what's happening in this final row. We're taking this plastic and the fuel and turning it into the rubber that we want. So again, it's kind of like we double, right? So we take our 9 plastic and turn it into 18 refineries of rubber. And 18 refineries at 60 a minute, almost 60 a minute for most of these machines, you're going to get a lot of rubber, right? It's a lot of rubber. And of course, we do the exact same thing over there, except that we just swap all the rubber and plastic formulas. And over there, we'll just get a lot of plastic. And that's what's going to happen now. Is we're going to take our magical fuel along with this little polymer resin rubber that we've got off the side and shove it in here to make plastic, which then turns it into a lot of rubber, which is great. That's awesome. So there's really kind of 2 parts of it going on here. You've got a fuel component, which we're making, and you've got this little leftover resin that you turn into a little bit of plastic, which then turns into a lot of rubber, which is great. I mean, that's just great. So that is what's going on with these 2 factories. And of course, as mentioned, we only need about 300, let's say 350. I'll even be generous. I think like one of them's only 311 and the other one's like 314. But let's say we need 350 plastic and rubber from each of these. Well, these are going to be producing like nearly 1,000. So we're going to shove most of that plastic and rubber into a sink. And be getting some free tickets out of that. And of course, we're going to take the rest of that plastic and rubber, and of course, we're going to shove that up into our computers and all the other neat toys that we need plastic and rubber for. Because we're not using all the plastic and rubber just on computers. We'll be using it for a little bit for the supercomputers, as well as the turbo motors. With that, though, I'm Max. This is Satisfactory Update 4. Next episode, piping. We're going to take the piping we've got there on the left, and we're going to put it on that machine on the right. And then on the next episode after that, we're going to do all the belt work that I've done on the left which right now doesn't exist because that's going to happen after the next episode. I'll do all the belt work on the left, and then we're going to do an episode of it on the right, and then we're going to turn them both on and just see how cool they actually look when they're all up and running. So, with that, this is Satisfactory 4, and I am going to see you on the next one. Take care.